Hey everyone, this is Ryan with From Corners Unknown. I hope you're all doing well. A few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of speaking with Barren of Shape, this crazy experimental death metal grindcore band based out of Belgium. They're a three-piece, and they have a pretty unique setup. They got two bassists and a drummer, something that I seldom come across in my searches for new bands. But I found them about a month and a half ago through Bandcamp with their latest record, Fauna and Defloration. We got to speaking about their backgrounds and their influences and what compels them to kind of take all these disparate genres and meld it into extreme metal. It was a real fun conversation, super hilarious guys. And thank you so much for your continued support, and thank you for any and all support you can show or give Barren of Shape. After this introduction, I'll play a small sound clip of a song off of their latest album, Fauna and Defloration, and I'll bookend the conversation with the remaining seconds of that track. So thank you so much again for listening. When I listened to you guys the first time, I was a little blown away by the just how crazy the experimentation was on your guys' stuff. So I really appreciate you speaking to me about your work and all that.
Oh, thank you for giving us this opportunity and the compliment.
Yeah,
we're always hoping to get further a bit.
Get our music out there.
Everything helps. So
yeah, definitely. So how'd you? This is your the Fauna and Defloration is your debut record as a band, or do you have other material before this?
Yeah, we previously recorded an EP with 3 songs.
Okay.
But we had a much different style back then. Then we recorded another EP, which is just basically one long track of doomy, sludgy stuff.
Oh, huh.
You can find it. You can find it on YouTube or
Bandcamp
or on Bandcamp.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we grew a lot since then. I guess.
Yeah, I've not been a drummer for a long time, so I've only been drumming for 3 years. So it's also been a learning process for me, but I think we're growing fast.
Sure.
I mean, I think we could make something work. I think there's something in the band that can get us doing steady gigs and stuff.
Sure. So what was the how long ago was that EP recorded? A couple of years?
Maybe a year
and a half-ish.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
So we also have some different lineups and stuff. So me and Tom, the lead bass player, we were always in the band.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a guitar player at first. Then he had to get out. Then we had a replacement, but he got replaced really fast by the current bass player, then Dario.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's also been it's kind of hard being in a band and that way,
Sure.
Not always going the way you want.
And there's a shitty scene in Belgium where we live.
Yeah, it's hard to get gigs out here because it's hard to get recognition or something because everyone's into pop music and stuff like that here.
Very shitty pop music.
Yeah, it's not a big scene around here.
So there's not like a slew of grind bands or experimental anything really. It's just kind of you guys and maybe a couple other bands, if that.
In our hometown, I don't think there's another band that really plays our kind of stuff.
In general, I think so.
In our country, there obviously is a kind of scene, but
down in Antwerp.
Yeah, in Antwerp and stuff like that.
Like Amon Ra, you've probably heard of them, maybe. Amon Ra, really big band from Belgium now.
That does sound vaguely familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, there is kind of a scene, but most of the guys that are doing something now, like starting bands, we know those guys or they're not around.
I see. I see. So when you guys started the band, you said you had a guitarist now, and then he flipped out, and then he switched out, and you got a bassist. So how did that work? Like, because I personally don't know too many bands that have two bassists and a drummer. There are probably a handful out there, but it seems like a pretty unique setup to me. So how did you guys land on kind of that trifecta? The two bassists and the drummer.
Well, we came back from rehearsal, me and Dylan, and I just dropped by a friend's house, and his band just got disbanded for the many of time, and he said, yeah, what I'm gonna do now, I just bought this big ass amp and stuff, and I said, you can just come and play with us. We tried it out, and it was really, really loud, and very low. You could really feel the basement tremble. Sure. We said, okay, this is what it's gonna be.
And then that was it? You just kind of stuck with it from there on?
Heterosexual music for heterosexual men.
Too funny.
So. Yeah, no, we're always into trying new stuff, trying to get as much influences in our music as we can.
Yeah.
And I can't play anything else except for the bass. So we were always friends who played bass. Yeah. So we just had to make it work, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And is it okay? No, that makes sense. So what are? I mean, they're in your newest Fauna and Defloration. You obviously have a bunch of different sounds on display. I was kind of blown away the first time I listened to it. I really didn't know what to make of it at first pass. But where do all those influences come from? Are these all just genres and personal interests you like? Like, how do you decide which stuff you hear and you like? How do you decide how you're going to try and work that into your compositional structure?
Well, sometimes we just jam, and it's kind of standard metal stuff.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden we go like, what if we suddenly threw in some new wave in there, and everybody goes, yeah, that would be really funny. And we just try it, and it makes sense.
Okay.
We listen to a wide variety of bands. Like I like a lot of new wave stuff, like Duff, Dan Mussolini. I listen to Björk. We listen to sludge, grindcore, some jazz, bit of everything.
Sure. So how did I guess backtracking just a tiny bit from your first EP to now, what kind of spurred you guys to go from, more sludgy, doomy stuff as you described to what you're doing now? Like what really, like what was the catalyst that makes you say, oh, we want to, open up and just do all these different sounds and genres in our songs?
I don't really know. I think for us it comes kind of natural.
Okay.
I guess like the music kind of grew as we grew as musicians, I guess.
Okay.
Like I dropped the bass for a while when I joined the band. I wasn't really playing the bass, like not really into it. So at that time I didn't have, let's say, the skills to do mathematical things.
Sure.
And we were still learning to feel each other as a band. It was still new. So I guess, the music progressed as we progressed, I guess.
Yeah, and that kind of goes together with the fact that we get older and we get more personal problems. We kind of incorporate that into our music too, I think. Really, get out the aggression. For me, personally, I don't know if it's the same for the other guys, but...
Yeah, well, I'm drumming, so lots of aggression there.
Yeah.
So is it for you? Is it personally, cathartic to play and write this kind of music? Like, is it a vessel to express certain aspects of life that frustrates you or pisses you off and stuff like that?
It's kind of contradictory thoughts battling each other. And we try to get that stuff out in really complex aspects of stupid stuff and songs.
Sure.
Kind of a weird tornado of random bullshit mixed with some feelings of pure hatred for the fact that every day we have to go to work for some shitty ass loan for your house. I mean, we all
and just not take yourself too seriously, I guess. We put a lot of humor in there.
Yeah.
And I guess being in a sludge band or whatever band, like a grind band, or I guess it would bore us if you would be doing the same stuff 30 years on end, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what are your guys' like each of your respective backgrounds in music? Were you in, I know you said you were in bands, there were some disbandments prior to joining Barren of Shape and such, but were you playing in bands even earlier on? Like, how old are you guys? Have you been playing in a lot of other outfits before this?
We're all about 25.
Okay.
Well, for me, Tom was like, you should buy a drum, we should start a band. And the next week I bought the drum, so I just learned to play and while starting the band. So for me, it was a first play in a band. So it was kind of hard to learn, but I think went pretty fast-paced.
Sure.
So for me, I didn't really get much into playing music at a young age. So
I see.
Yeah, for me, at that time was in another band, but it kind of disbanded too. And I've been in numerous stupid short bands like let's try this or that, but it always failed or we didn't just feel each other right. This is really kind of a first for me.
I see.
To get a real steady band for that.
Okay.
Currently, I'm in 3 other bands, but that was way past the exodus of this band, really.
I see. Where you guys are at now, the 3. So it is this like the foundation of the band? Like this is like you're not planning to add any other instruments or persons to it. Like it's you 3 guys, the 2 bass and drums, and that's it.
I think we could all agree if we found like a alto saxophone.
Yeah,
that would be really, really cool. But
or maybe a didgeridoo. Like
yeah,
Australian didgeridoo, but a really low end one.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been in a few bands, but always like noodling, not really steady bands. More like just a teenager in a garage. Not really nothing serious.
Sure.
So yeah, it's all really new.
Are there musicians around where you guys are? Like, a saxophone player or didgeridoo or anything of that sort, or is that like almost impossible to come by where you live?
There probably are some musicians, but not really interested in the kind we are looking for.
I see.
So we all kind of know a sax player, but
yeah, but he doesn't listen to our kind of music, so he's not gonna play anything that would like add to our music, I guess.
I see.
More like blues or jazz background guys, and not really looking to other genres or,
Sure.
It's hard to find a guy with the right mindset, I guess.
Sure.
Crazy enough.
Yeah.
Out of the box enough.
Yeah, because we're all friends since childhood, so maybe it comes more natural to us to make music together, and we have the same crazy ideas.
Sure. We grew up together, so yeah.
Yeah, same musical influences. Maybe everybody flourished a little bit in another style, but
sure.
So it's all steady listening of pretty much the same music.
Sure. So when were you guys? When did you guys, like each of you? When were you kind of exposed to extreme metal, and what were some of the first bands that like really spoke to you and got you locked into wanting to create music, in this large genre of metal?
Well, for me, I started out with like bands like Rage Against the Machine and System of a Down. Especially System of a Down is a band I really liked. And then I suddenly got into thrash metal. And from then on, I actually went like from thrash to death to grind,
Nice.
always harder and heavier.
Okay.
All kinds of stuff. But also like to listen to rap and stuff like that. As long as it's musically good, I'm up for it. That's my view.
Sure.
Yeah, and I grew up with listening to my dad's 70s prog LPs and stuff.
Okay.
So and from there on out, when I listened to my own music, it was basically just a mix of random death metal bands and stuff. Then I basically rolled into grind because it, it was a lot better. So
Sure.
Well, for me, my first experience with like extreme metal was seeing Gwar, seeing Gwar on Viva La Bam. I said, these guys are good. Like, I was immediately in love with the costumes and the humor in it, the satire, But the first time I really wanted to play bass was when I saw Primus. When I heard Primus, like Les Claypool, I said, this is what I want to do. Like, this guy knows how to play bass. I've never heard it before. I thought that bass was like bass, like a real background instrument. Yeah, like the real stupid jazz scales, like rocking out on a single note.
Yeah, just playing.
And I heard this guy is like something else.
Yeah. So what were some of the, I guess, since you guys all mentioned some sort of gradual progression from like into grind, like it sounds like that was kind of a touchstone or kind of, one of your, like it sounds like you progressed musically. Each one of you kind of ended up at grind, or it sounds like when you were discussing it, you ended at grind. What were some of those? I'm just curious about some of those bands that really, who were some of that really got you into that genre?
Well, we went to Netherlands Death Fest and we saw Big Destroyer and Agoraphobic Nosebleed live.
Yeah, they're great.
And Magruder Grind, and really the energy over there was
crazy.
Yeah, apocalyptic even.
Really?
And we just felt like this is what we have to do. This is pure unbridled aggression.
Yeah, and also the fast rhythm changes in the music really. That's what I really like. Just like you said, pure aggression in it.
Yeah, it never gets boring. It's over too fast to get boring.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
So much emotion in just 1 minute. It's the best kind of music there is.
Sure.
Well, I wasn't really into grind, and like Tom was listening to grind before me, and even Dylan. I wasn't really into that. Of course, I liked it over time. It's like you have to learn how to like it. You have to, of course, like a fine wine or whatever.
Yeah.
I listened more to like Buckethead and more of these avant-garde-esque kind of bands, like even into Japanese noise rock, like Melt Banana.
Oh, awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Electric Wizard.
Electric Wizard.
Yeah, that was a really big one. Hearing the dope throne sound.
Yeah.
If you could do that fast, that would be so cool.
Hell yeah.
And we're just like trying to do that basically, and rape Electric Wizard.
And if you smoke weed while doing it, even better. No,
I don't know what he's talking about. What is LSD? What?
So how did you guys? So in your remarks about grindcore and how there's so much energy and passion and anger, compressed into just that 1 minute. So what compelled you to kind of take that element that you like and then, expand and contract it in your own sound? Because I know that, there are definitely elements of grindcore in there, but you also have a bunch of other sounds going on. But for grindcore specifically, how did you, how does that integrate into your compositions?
Blast beats on everything, No, I don't really know.
Well, we played a sludge for a long time together, but when you just sped that up and you added the formula of grind, it just really spoke to us.
Sure.
It's because we both play a 6-string bass now, and it really gives you an open tone for doing basically everything you want to hear.
you said basically.
Yeah, basically. Is the bass okay in the mic? Can you hear the bass?
Yeah.
Are you like?
Nah,
No, it was
it's,
stupid joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, trying to be funny. No, it's just like sometimes you hear like a song that's like 15 seconds long, like Twist from Korn. You wouldn't want that song to last for 4 minutes. But
Yeah.
if you do that for 15 seconds, okay, this is an interesting riff. This is really brutal. But what are you gonna do for the rest of the song? Play a song like 2 minutes just fast? Just that's boring too. Like, what if you had a break and did some like jazzy stuff in it? Or wouldn't that be interesting? That's new. That like just comes like that instant. Yeah.
Yeah, jazz works really well with grind, surprisingly.
Yeah. No, it definitely does. I can't think of many great examples, but the one I know, who was it? John Zorn. He does some stuff with was it
That's
Painkiller?
kind of one of my idols.
Yeah. He does some crazy stuff, and I really love like the way he influences or he works with some grind musicians. Are there any ones in particular? Like, are there any particular bands like jazz infused with grind that you really like?
I think Cephalic Carnage
Okay.
is my main band, which kind of includes jazz into grind, I guess.
Huh. I never even knew that they had jazz stuff or jazz like kind of woven into their sounds. I guess I need to go back and listen to those guys. I don't recall that very well, or I guess I never listened to them enough to pick that out.
Well, it's really subtle, incorporated in Cephalic Carnage in some of the songs.
Yeah, it's not all over there, but there are some pieces which it really stands out, I think. So that's kind of a good example of how it's done, I guess.
I see.
That's a really tough question, actually, finding some grind jazz bands. The top of my head, really.
Sure. Well, are you guys hoping, like, as a band to carve out like a little niche as well, or kind of develop that further and kind of become, are you planning like going forward to implement, like, continue to have jazz in your songs?
Yeah, the new stuff we're working on is, I would say, really different from the album you that's online right now.
Oh,
So
the
it's
fun-
more six. It's more 6-string stuff. It's even more out there, I guess. But yeah, like we have already a lot of material, I guess.
Yeah, we already have an extra album almost. I think we're kind of 2 songs away from a new album, so.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it's even more craziness, even more extreme.
Faster, definitely faster.
Yeah, a lot more energy in the songs as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The first time I heard something like jazzy in a band, which wasn't done, was Atheist. When I heard Atheist, like these guys were like doing that stuff in the late 80s, 90s,
Yep.
and they just had a re-release of their album, Elements, I guess. And
Yeah.
just now people are starting to hear this band and think like they were great, but in that time nobody understood that yet, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds like I think that they're pretty far ahead of their time, at least with with respect to their experimentation and their, yeah.
People weren't ready for that.
Sure. So how for you guys, like, how is it putting together a song? Like, how do you usually start writing a song, or like do you come up with a concept first, or is there like how do you just start writing?
Well, mostly I write my songs when I'm working, because I do it like an automatic go on a roll job. So I just come up with some stupid lyrics at first, but they're mostly like primary feelings or something, kind of like that.
Sure.
But then I try to put on some music there. Then I show it to the guys. And so what do you guys think of this? And say, well, yeah, that's horrible or that's good. And then we try it out. And they put their magic on it. Like Dylan just adds Funky Town and blasting. And then Dario just comes in and he adds the real bass to it. So it really comes very good and well together, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, most of the times Tom writes the riffs, or the songs in general. But sometimes like it's teamwork, you know. Sometimes you just have a good day, like someone is jamming, and says like play that again, or what are you playing? Like maybe you do this, do that, jokingly, and then in the end that becomes a song, I guess.
Yeah. So hey guys, I just bought this new pedal. Oh, what does it do? So, that could be a song. Yeah.
So it's like pretty spur of the moment. It sounds like it's kind of just kind of like in the moment thing. Sometimes when you put stuff together, it just kind of it's like just happens when you're jamming or anything of that sort.
Well, yeah, sometimes we get more difficult times where nothing comes up, but then all of a sudden, in like 5 minutes, we got a whole song. Just, sometimes it's spur of the moment. Sometimes we just get one riff and just expand on that.
Sure.
It depends on the song and on the moment, I think. So, but it works out, I guess.
Like a lot of times we have finished the song, we have rehearsed that song for several rehearsals, and then we just throw it away. Like that doesn't sound good anymore. That's not up to par, or
we're not feeling it. Yeah.
Or even changing it after we had the song a couple of months. We're like, let's change that riff.
Let's speed it up.
Or sometimes even the crab bucket gets to be just one big ass long stupid weird ass song, I guess.
Yeah, like just make a compilation of all the thrown away riffs or whatever. Like maybe this riff we threw away last week, this would work with that song maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works. It's fast. Yeah.
So when you guys are playing, and this is me going back to kind of my naivete with respect to having two bassists and a drummer in a band. How does it have any impact on the way you compose songs, or like does it have some like, does it shift the tone or the structure the way you would typically write a song and say like another band with a guitarist, or is it you just kind of treat it as it, like how does that work?
Yeah, sometimes it really melts together like some weird chorus effect, so you get this like surfy, grindy tone. It's a really weird thing we got going on. But it was kind of like a happy accident. Same thing with the distortions and the fuzzes.
Sure.
Kind of just works. Like Dario plays a Rickenbacker, which is like the most awesome bass in the world. Mm-hmm. And I play like this very, very shitty brand of bass over it, and it just makes the perfect sound.
Huh.
It kind of sounds like a jazz accident.
Yeah.
Like at first, like we were playing two 4-stringers. So our first few songs were on 4-string basses. Some things just don't work on two basses. Like if you try to go to classical things, some things just don't work or don't sound interesting enough. Like why would you use two basses to play the same riff? Or sometimes
like you can't really tell them apart or anything. They just kind of like together.
Yeah. So upgrading to two 6-strings, I think really diversified our music. Like it gives us way more range and options.
I see.
Yeah, and the impact of the low frequency when we're in the rehearsal shack, it affects us too, because we really feel the heaviness of certain things that just kind of work for us.
Sure. So have you guys, I know you said where you live, the scene is pretty shitty, or it's hard to get gigs. Have you played some of your stuff live? I mean, how is it like, and if you I guess I should just ask, have you played any of that stuff, in front of an audience yet?
Well, yeah, a couple of times, but I also think we're a better live band than in my opinion.
I see.
So, but it's, like we said, it's kind of hard getting good gigs, but
yeah, there's not really a scene for like a band with two bass players playing like in their eyes metal stuff.
Sure.
They just want some cringy ass band with some pretty boy playing guitar over here. So it's pretty much a bunch of those bands, and then there are some
DJs.
DJs, and some really shitty hardcore bands. I mean, that's our scene over here, pretty much.
But we played a few gigs, I guess. We played gigs?
Yeah, together with the bassist, we played like 3 or 4 gigs.
Okay.
Then previously to that, we just did 2 with the guitar. But all the gigs with the basses are pretty much a mix of the new songs we have. So yeah, but people didn't really respond to that. They just looked at us and, well, these guys are really metal. Look at that face. But I don't think they really get the music or they really like it. They just like the I don't know, the adrenaline of it at the moment or something.
Sure.
But we had some good responses in Antwerp when we played like a little festival.
Oh.
It was all singer-songwriter kind of music.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We were like the headliner, like the last band, and it was all singer-songwriter music. So we were kind of like, oh my god, these guys are gonna hate us. And they ended up liking us and asking for extra songs and
Really?
yeah, we did. Yeah.
We even ended up scaring away the bikers. They were just like, they rolled a bunch of bikers, maybe 12 of them, and they just left.
We can't listen to this noise.
That's not rock music.
Oh my god. So it's how, and so you said you think it's your. Pardon me if I misspeak. Just tell me if I screwed this up. You say you play live better than, you know, like in the studio practice, or you think that your live performances are better in a sense?
Well, for me, it's just the general sound of it that comes out better in a live setting. I think.
I see.
Also, you know, the adrenaline and then the rush you get from just performing. You know, it's really different from when you're like in a studio. You know, it's really different, the vibe you get. You know, it's.
But when you're on the front row and you hear 2 basses, like really low end basses, you like feel it in your gut, like the actual bass. That's a whole different feeling from listening our stuff on CD or.
Sure. How is it? You know, trying to have you. What challenges are what challenges are posed to you playing in a live setting? Do you are there certain parts of songs that are difficult? Because when I listen to Fauna and Defloration, it sounds like there are like a lot of complex rhythms and changes and shit, but a lot of tonal shifts and genre shifts. How is that playing? Like, how is it challenging to play that live as well, or is it pretty natural?
Well, it's kind of a natural style to us because we kind of invented it together. I wouldn't say that because it sounds pretentious, but yeah, we just kind of do our thing, and we really feel everything that's gonna happen, and it's easy to us if we rehearse it a couple times. So
okay.
Like I had more trouble in the studio recording the riffs in the studio than doing it live, for example.
Yeah,
live you have nerves and that's all natural. But in studio, like I wait for cues, like maybe you hear a song line, like when he stops doing this verse, the bass kicks in, or I stop, or this or that. And in the studio, you don't know that. It's like you play this riff 15 times, and then I found that more difficult than playing it live.
Yeah, we can't see each other. That's the basic problem. We're really going with a body language when we play live and stuff. We really know each other's signs and movements. I don't know. We just feel it.
Okay. Huh. So I guess going to some of the lyrics and I guess the sound samples on display on Fauna and Defloration, how is the for the music you play and how complex it is? It seems like I can't surmise all the lyrics, but it seems kind of tongue-in-cheek or comical in a sense. Like what's the vibe you're going for with the lyrics matched or paired with the instrumentation?
Well, they're all weird subjects because they're everyday problems pulled into a weird light of day, and then putting some music on that stuff. It kind of just works, I guess.
Okay.
Sometimes it's really hard to find lyrics or find a subject. Like you play a few riffs, like what's this about? Like what kind of feeling do you get when you play this? Sometimes it's really hard to figure it out. Like I guess that's why a lot of it's comical. Like there isn't really a red line, I guess, in the songs.
Sure.
No, they're all different subjects on their own.
Yeah, we just do what we do. I don't know.
Like things that piss us off, things that make us think, why the fuck would you do that, and stuff like that.
Like we couldn't make a concept album, I think. I don't think we could make a concept album.
Well, how about on some of like the sound samples? I wish I did a bit more research prior, but I know that you included a handful in there. What are those? You know, how did you work those into your compositions?
Well, you gotta find some sound samples that kind of fit in every context because they're really weird contexts, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we just browse. Everybody knows cult movies. We watch a lot of cult movies and stuff like that, and we just think from that would be great for that stuff, and we sample it like that.
What are some of your favorite? Are there certain? What other mediums kind of influence your songwriting or your style? Like besides music, are there other like you said, you have cult movies, are there books or other sorts of things that influence the way you go about writing songs?
Well, the cover for Fauna and Defloration is the creature from The Thing, the movie The Thing.
Okay, I was gonna. I thought I was crazy when I saw it, but I'm like, that looks exactly like the dude's head.
Huge Carpenter fan, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy Jasper Swerts, who did the artwork, really took it up well when we said what we wanted. So he just got it right at the first time. And we watch a lot of movies like that, so really Cronenberg movies. We also like Twin Peaks and stuff. That's really great too.
Yeah.
I'm really into like books about like reptilians and stuff too. Like David Icke talks about reptilians. So I like the Faceless made their album Planetary Duality.
Yeah.
And the lyrics are also inspired by those reptilian books by David Icke. So I guess movies, like handful of books. Other bands, I guess.
And old school games.
Old school video games.
Yeah, that too.
8-bit video games.
Like which ones? I'm curious because I play a bunch of games usually, or I used to play a bunch of games back in the day.
Like I cleared Ninja Gaiden, Mega Man 2.
Nice. Okay.
Like Ghosts and Goblins I didn't clear, I gave up. But like a lot of like the classic old school 8-bit games like Mario, Isolated Warrior,
Crash Bandicoot. That's a really good one too.
For sure.
That is really a lot of crazy music too. All those old school games. They have these really weird kind of sounding compositions in them, and we just incorporate that stuff too. But we make it heavy, and it works.
So you would say though, in like some sense, some of like the games or films, like the films that you watch, like those have like kind of their weirdness or their zaniness kind of influences your compositional structure, the way you go about writing songs.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Huh.
Like when you watch like Power Rangers the movie as a child, like everyone liked Power Rangers. And then the theme song was made by Buckethead, which I only discovered when I was 23.
Really?
Buckethead.
Oh shit.
Yeah, really. It was made by Buckethead for the movie. Like a theme song for Goro from Mortal Kombat is also made by Buckethead.
That's blowing my mind.
So I wouldn't learn that 20 years later.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so kind of full circle, I guess.
That's unbelievable. That's really cool. That's like, that's one of the coolest things I've heard in a long time, actually. I had no idea that was the case. Huh.
Yeah, that's... So you didn't know that either?
No, I had no idea. No, and I remember watching...
You're going to look that up later.
Yeah, no, I'm going to look at... I remember watching Power Rangers back in the day.
Rocking the Power Rangers.
Yeah. Oh, man. So what's the... So you said you almost have... Or you have almost enough material for a new release already. Where are you guys planning to push the sound of the band sonically? I mean, do you have other genres, other sounds that you haven't experimented with yet that you're hoping to experiment in, your next release or just, into the future? Like what are you where are you looking, with respect to your experimentation going forward?
Well, first of all, we're gonna sound a lot faster, and the ideas we have are basically themed by water, I guess, because we have this song about a man called the Coconut Man and stuff, and it's kind of like island stuff, groovy things going on, and then it just bursts right into grind.
Like we haven't done let's say Hawaiian themed grind song. Like let's do that.
Yeah, it's basically gonna be a lot of stuff like that. All just kind of crazy, fast, funny stuff that's really brutal in some aspects and really funny. That's the basic thread of it.
Like each song is a caricature of itself, I guess.
Interesting. So how'd you land on this idea, or like what was it, just like a random thought, or how'd you end up on that?
Well, I was watching Castaway, the movie with Tom Hanks, and I thought, what if a corpse of a beautiful woman washed up on the beach? Would he have sex with that woman? And then we tried to make a song out of that, and it kind of came out like this mathy divide in a characteristic of should I have sex with this corpse or not? And he ends up doing it, and then it just bursts into this slow passage of raw sludge. And you can see the waves cascading against the sex-having, I guess, necrophile Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I really was not expecting that. I was not expecting you to say that at all.
Well, I mean, just the fact that you're laughing about it, that.
It's gonna be a good song. He likes it already. I can see it.
No, but like that, like it's interesting because you got like really strange genre. Like I mean, you got like porno grind and other forms of like grindcore words. Like it's just kind of gross, and it doesn't like that kind of stuff just doesn't sit with me. But when you describe it like that just sounds absurd and ridiculous. But it's so funny that it just sounds like. It just sounds like it would be a hilariously awesome song,
Like a bad 80s cult movie, I guess. Like the script for a bad 80s cult movie. Like if you've seen Night of the Creeps, I mean...
I haven't seen it, but...
Oh.
And our drummer Dylan listened to a lot of porn grind too and that stuff, eh?
Oh yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Interesting.
Sometimes I just walk in and to pick him up to go to the rehearsal, and then I'm just like, "Hi, Dylan."
Like cock and ball torture.
Yeah, it's my kind of stuff. Torso fuck is also kind of it's really extreme, but it's fun to listen for time to time. It's.
I listen to that band.
It doesn't always have to be 100% serious for me. Sometimes I just like to, like porn grind is the slow times, like dun, dun, dun. It just, I just like it from time to time.
I see.
Like a lot of these bands make these lyrics, and not all of them, but some seem like pretentious, like they go too far into like I'm a death metal band, I need to have death metal vocals and death metal lyrics, and it's all too pretentious, I guess.
Yeah, we have a serious but stupid kind of weird ass juvenile style even.
Yeah, bands like Sick Fuck. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
It sounds vaguely
Also
familiar,
really,
but
yeah, it's really crazy. Sick Fuck. It's not too serious, I guess, but it sounds really crazy. It's
or East-West Blast Test. That's a great one too. Or Phantomas by Mike Patton.
yeah, Phantomas
That's really
is
great
amazing.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love them.
one of my favorites.
Yep. So I guess since I'm still a little morbidly curious about the next album's concept, or maybe not concept, but some of like the undertones going on with the imagery. But how about on the vocal delivery? Because the vocal delivery was like that was something that grabbed me pretty early on when I was listening to you guys, especially like some of like the the harsher vocals. Like some of it reminded me a bit of I think it's Travis Ryan from Cattle Decapitation. I even got some like Mike Patton vibes, like kind of how you do some crazy, weird like shrieks and like kind of just like funny zany deliveries. But how does that like how'd you get into doing lyrics or like delivering your vocals that way?
When I was a kid, I made a lot of stupid sounds, and when I feel my emotions as a kind of an adult, I guess it just kind of mixes up into a really flipped out caricature of what I'm feeling at the moment, I guess.
I see.
And it kind of ranges from like you mentioned the really loud cattle decapitation, raspy, stupid vocals.
Yeah.
That's really pretty much the anger catalyst for me, I guess.
I see.
Because it really gets out all the things I'm pissed about, and it's just me screaming at the top of my lungs. Really, I'm not trying to incorporate styles.
Sure.
But Mike Patton is pretty much a really big influence on how I would do stuff on serious songs, I guess.
Sure. Okay.
Like Mike Patton is an amazing vocalist. Like he's the master of all styles.
You can do any
range.
Yeah. No, I love his stuff, but that was one thing that I just picked up on, pretty early on. Just kind of like some of like the. I can't describe it all that well. I have to go. I have to listen back to try and articulate it correctly. But that was Mike Patton definitely. Like that rang a bell for me when I was listening to some of the tracks off of Fauna and Defloration.
Yeah, I just want to say like sometimes you don't want to go overboard on the lyrics, I guess. So sometimes like Tom just makes sounds or like shrieks or whatever. Like you don't want to go overboard with the lyrics. Like, does this fit on the music or won't this be overkill? And just like make
so
a fake rhyme with like screams or something.
Yeah, sometimes that delivery doesn't, like sometimes those sounds you're making aren't even lyrics per se. It's just kind of like ways to accent the music.
Yeah, sure. That's really what it is, I think.
Yeah, it has to be more organic. We kind of feel like some of the bands these days are coming out. They're kind of mechanical, too organized too. They're all so polished to shit, and we really want to make it more natural.
Sure, that makes sense. I'm always I like to ask folks this too. What are some of your, like, just each of you, just for my, like, just because I'm curious about, like, what are some of like your earliest or fondest memories of like listening to music?
Like for me, it was probably The Prodigy. Like, was the first quote unquote heavy thing I heard. Like when I saw this guy who was actually the dancer or something do Firestarter on MTV. Like I remember sitting in the couch and seeing Firestarter. That was like I also bought that CD, Fat of the Land, and I guess for Tom also when we were like 10 or 11, I guess.
Yeah,
we listened to shit out of that CD.
Really,
Fat of the Land.
And then I got a 6 Feet Under album. I think it was. And I laughed so hard hearing the vocals for the first time. I thought, this is awesome. And then it just got worse from there on. I just wanted more and more aggressive. Then I got into noise even. Then it's going to make me happy more than just being really brutal, I guess.
I see.
For me, I got to stick with System of a Down, I guess. Just the really in-your-face type of songwriting, I guess. The quick changes and stuff and all the craziness in there. Also the vocals sometimes get crazy in there. So it's something I really enjoyed while growing up, while listening to music. It's
for sure.
So something I miss these days growing up listening to music is like I liked a lot of songs growing up that I don't like today, but I like them for the music video. I like the music video. What happened to music videos these days? Like it's just like a chick with a fat ass dancing over a car. It's all the same garbage. Like it's a lost art form. Like the MTV generation. Like MTV shows teen pregnancy too. Even more teen and even more pregnant. What happened to the music? What happened to the music videos? Like like even Moby had good music videos. Like I love those music videos, and I love the songs because of the music videos.
So how is it, I guess, for you guys where you live? Just like general, what are like in general, what is your? I'm curious, like just what are your thoughts on, the landscape of metal and other genres you listen to? Like how has, because I've been speaking to other couple bands and I've found it a little interesting to try and unravel what folks think about, how everything is going digital and how a lot of stuff is, you have to spend so much more time searching stuff out that's decent, at least for me. It's like just to find records that you really like or find some gems, it takes a lot longer to kind of to find the stuff because there's just such an inundation of music nowadays. But what are your guys' thoughts on kind of the musical landscape right now?
Well, a lot of it goes to shit because of social media
Yeah.
and the internet and stuff, really. Because you can't build a scene if everybody is listening to stuff overseas and everybody is coming out with their shitty band and they're not even trying. They're just doing stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff out there, and you gotta just filter it out. But I think it's all because of social media.
We need more of a community, like more mouth-to-mouth community. Like
I see.
it's not about how good your song is. It's more about how many likes does your song on YouTube have, or how many likes does it have on Facebook. And if you're like a metal band, like a sludge band or whatever band that hates this kind of stuff, it's kind of hard to get your stuff out there.
Yeah, true.
Because how do you do that without being pretentious or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just kind of push you into it, like join us or stay at home and never play a gig again, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like a sink or swim, and you sink or swim pretty much, right? It's
Yeah.
dive into the social media, or you'll never get the recognition ever, or nobody will ever know you exist.
Or you'll play blues, or maybe be a DJ, or like Schlager music. That's a big thing here too. Like,
sell my ass for crack. I don't know.
Like it's like degrade yourself to that level, or have a really hard time getting your stuff out there.
Yeah. Well,
There is no underground. We are the underground. I mean, there is no underground scene.
No. That I did speak with a small label owner yesterday, and he was telling me about that. He was saying like there really is no underground, like not anymore, but it was interesting because he did say something very similar to what you said about like the word of mouth, like kind of like the ingenuity that comes with like building a community through mentioning bands, but not just saying, oh, look how many likes they have, this must be good. Like it's just kind of the word of mouth spreading of, it kind of creates more of an intricate network or a genuine network of people that like your stuff.
Like it just came on the news, like I guess a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Our government has stopped funding of government youth centers, like where you could play gigs or drink beers or whatever. There's no budget for that. That's all history. Like There wasn't already, but now there's like zero. There is no budget for youth centers or whatever, or small businesses, gigs, or there's like nothing to do. It's like all go commercial or go home.
Yeah, we would play anywhere, man. We would play in someone's pool, for God's sakes, and that doesn't even work.
We can't just give this stuff away.
Yeah.
Sure.
Please like us, please love us.
So how is curious for you guys going forward, how is it, do you have any thoughts or insights as to how you're going to go about trying to, get your name out there, or try and, just kind of get people's ears on your tunes?
Well, for me, it's just getting gigs. I just want to play. I don't have any like sights for the future for like being big or something like that. Just want to play the music. Sure. For me, that's it. I just want to go out and do that stuff. But it's hard because like we said, there's no scene there.
Well, when you go to a bar or whatever, it's like you go there and you talk to a guy. You say, how many gigs have you played? Like, why would you even ask that? So you're hoping I say 30, and then you say, okay, if I say 2 gigs, you're going to say, I don't handle the gigs. You need to talk to our whatever manager, what's his face? You go to you send an email to the manager, and he says you got to talk to the guy at the bar. Like, it's an infinite loop until you give up because you haven't played 50 gigs, or you're not big enough, or you won't sell enough beers, or like that.
It almost
We just want to play.
Yeah, it almost sounds like a catch-22 or something, where it's like you want to have, it's like you want to get a gig, but they want you to have enough gigs under your belt to, warrant them investing in you to go play, but they don't want to invest in you because you don't have enough gigs. But to get more gigs, you have to go to those bars and do that sort of thing, right? So it's kind of, like, it sounds like you're kind of stuck in this. You can only do it if they give you a chance, really. But they won't give you a chance, and you can only...
Yeah, it's like... Exactly. Yeah. Like, there was this music contest of our province, Limbomania. So we live in Limburg, so it's called Limbomania. And we got through the preliminaries, and we could play a gig, and there are, like, rounds. And it was 2 months ago?
Yeah.
3 months ago. And 2 weeks before we were set to play, I got stabbed in the arm. So
really,
someone stabbed me with a knife in the arm. So I spent the night in the emergency room, so I couldn't play the gig. So that was like a big chance for us, and we kind of, the guys played without me, like Tom and Dylan went there, and they just did altered versions of what we had.
Yeah,
from new stuff as well.
They can't say that we didn't try, but yeah, that was a big downer, I guess. But here we are, like you found us, so I guess other people will follow, I hope.
Yeah.
Like, this is a big step forward, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I do think there is progress, that it's not like it's all for nothing, we are getting somewhere where we want to be, but it's just a matter of sticking to it, and just doing what you do,
Yeah, because we really appreciate what you're doing for us right now, man. That's
really. It's unbelievable, actually.
Yeah, no, it's all my pleasure. I mean, I really enjoy it. It's a relatively new thing, as you can probably tell by looking at the website, but it's definitely something that I found to be a lot more rewarding and interesting than just, writing up, doing a small write-up here and there. I kind of like interacting with bands. And doing these kinds of, on-the-spot conversations. There's so much more you can learn about a band than just me sending you a list of 10 or 15 questions and you send them back whenever you want. There's just, you get so much more out of this.
It also shows you're actually interested in what we're doing and who we are. It's more personal as well. So
and in that way we're the same. Like, we're just guys trying to make it out there, and you're doing the same thing. Like, starting small and just helping each other out. I guess this is community. This is a community.
Yep, exactly.
This is what we like over here in Belgium.
Sure. Yeah. No, definitely. Could you guys recommend either in unison or each respective person, like 2 or 3 bands or records you discovered this year, or record labels, or anything that like really blew you away or kind of like really spoke to you that you could recommend listeners check out?
For me, it was some new grime stuff, more like Maruta or Maruda. I don't know how you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, we really like Maruda. They're really great.
Yeah.
That's really like one band I really got into this year. Really well. Else?
Dystopia, was this year they discovered Dystopia?
Yeah, Dystopia is
Dystopia,
also one of the bands there.
Dystopia, kind of underground sludge band.
Really sludgy.
The best sludge vocalist ever.
Yeah, really gnarly.
No effects, harsh anger. Like, this is how it needs to sound.
Awesome. Okay.
I don't know. I kind of like the Despacito song. Didn't you like that? Despacito. Despacito.
Despacito.
Or the new Ed Sheeran song. I just can't get enough of that Ed Sheeran.
He doesn't
I just
know.
can't get enough of Ed Sheeran.
He doesn't know.
Play it 40 times.
Forgive
please.
him. He doesn't know.
Yeah, no,
No,
when people make those or when they discuss stuff in like pop culture, I always feel at a total loss when I talk to people because you bring up songs and like I didn't even know about, I'd never even heard of that song, and it's probably because I'm just always so deep in my computer looking at stuff on Bandcamp, but I've never even that's like never touched my ears.
King amongst men. You are a king amongst men.
Like at work, they like have a new form of psychological, what do you call it? Psychological torture. Like we have to listen to public radio all day. Like
All day.
It's 40 times the same 3 songs.
At your
I have to hear this. I don't want to hear this shit, but I have to.
At your job?
Yeah, my job. Yeah,
What do you do?
We're all in factories.
factory worker, the worker drones.
Is it like, what kind of stuff? Like, what are you putting together?
Like I make windshield wipers all day.
Huh, okay.
Interesting stuff.
I mean, to me, it's only interesting to me because it's like I've never been in that setting before. I've never worked in that setting. I've always do like desk job stuff. So it's, yeah.
King amongst men.
Yeah, with us, like, it's all factory work. Like,
I make pies all day long in an industrial bakery. And I'm a diabetic, so that's kind of the irony of it.
yeah. You see how that works into our songs and shit?
Yeah, no. Now that you're saying that, I kind of see why the music is so absurd. I can kind of see like the absurdity, the contradictions, or the ironing your day job, and now it's like it actually is making the songs or the sounds. It's bringing it to light for sure. Thank you for your guys' time. I really do.
Yeah, thank you as well, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks to you, man.